When the doubt gets loud, but answer that call. Vision ain't real till you grind at speed, so breathing deep. Then call it damn leads. Call it damn leads.
Hey, welcome back to Call the Damn Leads, the show by sales professionals for sales professionals. I'm your host, Drewbie Wilson. With more than 2 decades in sales, I've seen it, been through it, heard about it. Now I'm bringing those stories to you, my favorite people in the world, the sales community, because let's be honest, this is the greatest job on earth. Doesn't matter where you come from, what background, what personality type, you can create an amazing life in sales. Today's guest, no stranger to that journey. I'd like to welcome Gil Vaisman to the show. How are you, sir?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I want to jump right in. I want to hear your craziest sales story.
Okay. It's one I regret. It's one I regret having closed.
Tell me more.
So this was me back when I was starting, was going through like rough patch and have this lead and she's talking to 5 other people, and I go there in person and connect and kind of like pour my heart out to her and tell her like, I know your vision, I can deliver exactly what you're looking for, etc. Then I don't hear from her, and then I did a follow-up call where I did everything I wouldn't do now. Every little thing I wouldn't do now, which was I try to overpower my will into getting her, like, convince this person why building with me was the right thing. And I skipped all the red flags along the way. And I was like hearing like every objection, I would try to convince her why, like, I could provide exactly what she needed. And then I overcommitted to stuff that, like, this is someone that couldn't be made happy. Like, it was a miserable experience than working. I have to do the fulfillment as well. I don't just do the sale, hang up the phone and collect my check. I have to be there throughout the process. So I got to be careful, man. And this is someone that, like, drew every single ounce of blood I had. That was like probably my biggest lesson. It was crazy. Like, I did every little thing to convince this person why we could do exactly what she needed. And I would become like, I would morph into whatever she needed us to morph in order to close that sale. And like, now I know it's not about willpower. It's not about convincing. And little did I know back then, but that was it, man.
Oh, Gil, it's so hard to have that conversation with new up and coming like business owners and sales professionals. Like, listen, not all business is good business. Just because they have a credit card and a pulse does not mean they need to be a client. And it's hard because when you're young and you're hungry and you got to put some numbers in the board to get paid, like, you got to do what you got to do. And we all have to go through and have that lesson where we go and commit and then realize, whoa, I way overcommitted. And, you know, most of us that have that conversation, at first we have honor and integrity. So we're not going to go back and be like, hey, I've got to charge you more or try to be sleazy. But like, as you get a little older, you start to realize like, nah, man, I'm sorry. We peeled back the layer. We took this wall down, we opened up the floor, and suddenly we've realized this is way, way worse than we ever thought, which is why we use a scope of work instead of giving you the full-blown price right up front.
Yeah.
But, Gil, I mean, again, that's something we all have to learn. We all have to go through that. Now, what I'd be curious about, you know, on your journey in sales and building your business, what were some of the things that you did early on to generate new clients? Because I think that's one of the hardest things a lot of sales guys, you know, and gals come to me with is like, well, how do I go and find leads? And there's lots of leads everywhere, but how did you specifically, when you got started, go out and find the people to work with?
So it's a marketing question, what you're asking me, basically.
Yeah, we'll start with the marketing side first.
So marketing and sales are co-joined twins. Like they are totally codependent. Like I don't think I think good marketing makes me a better salesman, and poor marketing makes me a worse salesman. And so um, it's that education piece in marketing, like being a resource, and that's how you show trust, authority, and expertise, which is what Google wants to find, and also what clients want to find. Like once you demonstrate that, like you're putting out their information that is free for everybody, and it's gonna be helpful, and you're going to answer questions that people are going to ask because like you've been asked those questions before. Like if you can get ahead of those questions and put some content out there and put some videos out there and put your face out there answering said questions, you've got yourself a pretty decent advantage. And by the time they're talking to you, they already have like made up part, like in some cases they've made up their mind, and it's just the easiest process to get them to the close. So marketing, like sales starts in marketing, in my opinion. Marketing is not separate from sales. Like you start your selling process when you're putting your marketing message out there. It's not just like, hey, this is free, this is cheap, like come get me. No, it's why is this product worth buying? What are some questions you might have? And here are some information that is like my honest take on whatever you're selling,
I really appreciate that approach. It's what I've seen to be the most effective for myself and for many of the clients that I've worked with. Now, what's been interesting is there's sometimes is people who push back and say, well, hey, if I create videos and trainings and teach people how to do all this stuff, won't that mean they don't need me anymore? Like, why would they hire me if I've already taught them how to do everything? Is that something you've ever experienced or run into as well?
Those people weren't your client on the first place, and that's the lesson number one. You need to know who your clients are. Your client isn't 100% of the people that are listening to you. There are people that are never going to buy from you. I don't care. Like you can be the best damn salesman in the world. There are some people that just will never buy from you, and the sooner you accept that it's a law of averages. Like whatever your number is, obviously the lower ticket item, the higher conversion rate is going to be. I sell high ticket items, so my conversion rate, if I hit 20%, I'm like hitting, like I'm an MVP, man. So that's the reality. Like they were not going to buy from me anyways. To give you an example, like I sell contracting services, ADUs, accessory dwelling units. This is when you have a home, you want to build a secondary home, like a guest house in your yard. There are laws everywhere allowing this nowadays, and so that's the thing I sell. And part of what I'm going to start developing is a course to teach people how to build it on their own, like not to hire me as a contractor, but to go the owner builder route. And you want to go build this thing on your own? I'm going to teach you, and I'm going to give you all the information and all the know-how of me as a contractor of what things to look out for, and teach you all my experience. And is that going to hurt my business? Not at all, because those people were never going to buy from me in the first place. People that are looking to pinch every penny and to cut every corner and to do things on their own, and they want to go to Home Depot and they want to haggle with like they're their own thing. It's like, I don't think homeschooling takes away from kids that go to school. It's a different thing. Like you want to homeschool your kids? Be my guest. People that want to be owner builders, that's what they're called. They're going to be owner builders. They don't need me, but like I can be useful to them, and then maybe sell them a book, maybe sell something else. Maybe that's a way to access them, because I for sure not going to sell them my services as the business stands.
Yeah, that clarity around your core client avatar or ideal client profile or whatever terminology 3-letter you put on that thing, like knowing your audience is a major piece. And something else you added in there that I think is really, really valuable, and I don't see enough individuals really focused on, is the numbers, right? You said it. Hey, if I'm closing at 20%, I'm cruising and I know life is good. But most people can't even tell you what they're closing at. They don't know. They're like, I don't know, we got leads and we close a couple and we're making money. But like, when did you really understand the importance of knowing those numbers and starting to pay attention to it?
Oh, ever since day one, and like even myself, I've been sloppy with the numbers originally, but knowing what, like, especially if you're running marketing, like attribution is a big one. Knowing where that lead is coming from and what's your cost, like a number that like everybody needs to know. It's your cost per conversion, cost per lead. Have those two numbers, like those, like I look at that, like I've run spreadsheets and now I've worked some AI programming to get to those two numbers, because they are what's telling me, like, this money that I'm spending on marketing here, it's money well spent, or this time that I'm spending with this type of client is time well spent, which is money well spent at the end of the day. So where am I allocating my resources of time and money, which are the only two resources I have? And like which sources of and what messaging is delivering the best leads, and that's the difference between the close per lead and a close and a cost per conversion. Some leads are going to be cheaper, but they're going to be harder to convert if the marketing isn't correct. While you have some leads that are going to be, you might get less of those leads, but you're going to convert them at a much higher rate. Then that's a source that you want to keep. You want to keep feeding that beast.
You absolutely nailed it. And I appreciate you sharing that, because there's a lot of folks out there who are not paying attention to those two core numbers. And that's a gem that anyone who takes and actually starts looking into is going to go, oh my God, I'm going to absolutely change my business. Because once you understand how many leads does it cost, or how many leads do you need to get to an actual conversion, now you're doing the math. Now you're really understanding how much you need to keep pouring into your marketing so that you can keep seeing the revenue growing on the other side of that. And so, man, that's fantastic knowledge. I appreciate you sharing that. Now, I do want to shift gears for a second, because you mentioned the ADUs, and this is something that I'm kind of unfamiliar with. So I'm really curious, like, I know that there's people building, small units in their yards and secondary houses, but like I've never heard of it as a whole, like an industry. How did you even end up there, man? I'm super curious about this as a whole.
I'm in a mature market, what's called. So in my market, ADUs have been around since 2017.
Okay.
And it's kind of like the granddaddy of ADUs, where I'm at. I started building them in 2018, and I made it my primary business in 2020. So this is something that is going to happen naturally as soon as laws pass in different places in the nation. You have a lot of cities where ADUs are now legal. Those cities, like at the beginning, is going to be your typical remodeler, home addition contractor, are going to start saying like, hey, we can advertise for this thing. And then later on, like, you're going to start having specialists, which in any, I'm going to say, a market that is a few years old, you're going to start having people trying to target that market, because it makes a lot of sense to build this ADUs. If you have a single family home, the use cases are you can house family that is either too old to be on their own, or too old to be in your house, and And
Yeah, listen, if your grown children need a place, it sounds like an ADU is the next step, right? Like, get them out of the basement into a secondary home on the property. Like, grow up, grow out, maybe charge them rent, even though, you're just paying for the building. But such an interesting concept to me, because my follow-up question is, I mean, in America, there are some areas where homes have a decent amount of space, but I mean, there's not a lot of space. So are you building like tiny homes? Are they just smaller, like scaled down versions? Or are you building full blown like 2 and 3 bedroom houses? And like, give me some breakdown on that, because I've never heard of like how this actually works in a more mature market.
So our smaller units are 350 square feet. It's a studio. Our larger units are 3-bedroom, 1,200 square feet. It really depends on the lot and what the possibilities are for each house. LA has a mixed size lot. Like, your average lot size is about 6,000 square feet. So a lot of unused garages, those get converted as well. And so I'm going to say our average size tends to be around 600, 650 square feet. Big 1-bedroom, small 2-bedroom. That's your prototypical average in Los Angeles. Some markets where you go, for example, they passed a law in Denver 2025, lots there are a little smaller. It's going to be a market of tiny homes. Austin, it's going to be a market of big-ass homes because lots there are bigger. So it's a mixed bag, and it's really dependent on the geographical location.
Interesting. Yeah, that's so cool. And part of my interest here is like, my family and I, we lived in Texas. And so we had a pretty good sized house with a pool and all the amenities that you would want in a regular home in Texas. And we sold it all, moved into a fifth wheel RV, and started traveling around. And so as part of that, we've seen so many different interesting small dwellings and the way people set things up to live out of. It just opens my mind to like how cool it would be to be able to build something like that for your kid and be like, hey, listen, you're going to need your own space, but you don't necessarily want to be far away. And maybe you got some helicopter parents that want to keep an eye on things as their kids are in college or something. But then it becomes, a small unit. Maybe you can rent it on Airbnb, or you can, like you said, have family that moves into it. It's just such an interesting concept to me that I never really had thought about it as a full blown, like an industry or a niche to be in. But I think, as you mentioned, there's some laws around this that kind of affect how and where this is possible. Is that pretty true?
Yeah, and it's trending towards ADUs as a solution to affordability. That's a very popular law among lawmakers. The ordinances that allow for ADUs are very popular, and it started in California. California passed the first laws in 2017. They've passed laws in Oregon. They've passed laws in Washington State. There are, I think, 10 to 15 states either have full-blown laws allowing it statewide or are in the process of doing this. And then you have individual cities which are also allowing for this ADUs to happen, anywhere from Hawaii to Miami. And so it's coming. It's a trend. I believe we're just going to see it become more and more popular because it's a mix of like softer zoning code. It's what it is at the end of the day. It's softening the zoning in order to allow for private enterprise to solve a public problem. And it's very American if you think about it. It's the ultimate like capitalistic approach of allowing, like, we're all pro free market except when it comes to zoning. Like, everybody's a communist when it comes to zoning. Like it's the most un-American thing in the world. Like there we forget about free market. Like, it's like, no, not in my yard. But it's like what I see as the American values. ADUs are very American.
You know what? I'm going to play devil's advocate because I can see both sides, right?
Yes.
You don't want to live in a neighborhood where you've worked really hard to have like an aesthetic appeal, and then you got a bunch of junky units just coming up in the backyard. Right? That's not going to be cool. I can see where there would be some hubbub about that. But from what I've understood and kind of looking at your profile a bit, you guys aren't doing like low end. These are very high end, high quality, modern looking units that really fit to the aesthetic and the appeal of the neighborhood. So it's not really going to drive down values the way that you're doing it, from what I've understood so far.
No, we're not putting shantytown units. Like, these are brand new construction with every single amenity that you can have. These are, like, I wouldn't consider them luxury because of their size, but it's definitely comfortable.
Well, I mean, I guess luxury based on size is really a perspective, because if you go to New York, a luxury apartment might be $10 million, but might not be much bigger than the size of those homes that you're building, man. So, I again, this is why I think it's such an interesting topic. And while we could probably sit and nerd out about it for many, many hours, because I can tell this gets you really excited, I do want to respect your time. How do me, the listeners, and everyone come and find you, follow you, learn more about this process, man? Because I'm sure this is just the tip of the iceberg of what you can share on it.
Yeah, just look me up, Gil Vaisman. I'm a business owner. I'm in construction. Like, I made sure that if you Google my name, like, the right stuff comes up. It's very easy to find me. I'm easily approachable. Just go online and click on free consultation. Follow us on social media, YouTube, Instagram. We're posting content all the time, and like, maybe some of the stuff I share is useful to you.
Well, I tell you what, it's been super interesting and useful for me. I learned something today, and maybe have something to look into as a future investment opportunity, because who knows where this could go. So thank you again for taking some time to share with us today, Gil. I appreciate it.
No, you got it, Drewbie. It was a pleasure, and hopefully I was of use to your audience.
I would say so. And listen, if you guys and gals enjoyed it, if you got something valuable, go share this episode on social media. Tag me, tag Gil. Let the world know that this was useful and worth your time invested here. Maybe you know somebody that needs this. Like, maybe they need to get their kid out of their basement so that they can, grow up and move on. Maybe you know somebody who's got parents that need to live with them and they're taking care of them. This is such an interesting topic. Send them this episode. Share it. Let the world know, because that's what it's all about. Sharing stories, helping people get dialed in, and ultimately live the life that they want to live, because that's what sales is all about. And if you have an awesome story and you haven't told it on the show, we want you to be a guest. Head over to callthedamnleads.com/podcast. Send us your details. Let's get you on the show, because everyone's got an awesome story, and yours is next. While you're there, grab a hat, t-shirt, keychain, something. Support us. Help the world see. Call the Damn Leads is the movement. You know what to do. Go pick up the phone. We'll see you guys next time.
When the doubt gets loud, but answer that call. Vision ain't real till you grind that speed, so breathing deep. Then call the damn leads. Call the damn leads.